Hi, it's me, Soup. I'm here. Uh, I was on Twitter like a while ago. It was a while by now. But I've seen a lot of discourse revolving around Noli's new chase theme. And okay, I want to preface this with this. I wouldn't call myself a Forsaken fan. If you think my opinion is less, less good because I don't have like milestone 70 old man Jenkins in the game, then that's completely fair. But I just wanted to give my opinion on this because I think there's a little more to it than everyone's putting out. Just like, going one side saying it's ass, going the other side saying it's brilliant. Uh I'll say downright, like, just straight up, I personally think it's like decent at best. It's not like by any means a terrible song, but I think certainly I wouldn't want to constantly hear this while playing the game if I were to be playing it a bunch. And I kind of want to go into that. So I'll start off I'll start off going layer by layer. It starts off with, like, this stuff, and I think the beginning portion here is really good. I really like it. The very subtle melody in the background of, like, the voice. I don't know exactly what the voice, what would you call it. I know it from that one fucking that one game, Faith. It kind of sounds like that. And I quite like that. Layer 2 here. I also quite like this. I like how it's going more into it, I suppose. And then over here, this part, I think this is pretty good too. It kind of it kind of reminds me of that one JoJo song. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I just know it had its surrounds quite a few times. But the main meat of it is, the actual chase scene. This is the part where everyone, like the whole debate comes from. I think if it was just the first three layers, nobody would give a fuck. But I'm just gonna play this, and I'll give my thoughts as I go here. So this is kind of it's I'll just let it start. Now, not the best introduction to chase theme, I think, personally, but I get what it's going for. It's like, from what I understand, it's a completely different genre than what they've gone for any of the other chase themes, and it's supposed to better suit Noli as a character. I will say I don't know anything, not much about Noli. At least I know a little bit because my friends are into whatever, Roblox, Smith, hacker shit, whatever. They're into it, so that kind of stuff. So I know a little bit, but it's just like, I don't know. Again, I get, like, they're going for the whole chaotic theme. I think there's a better way to do this though, because me personally, I think it's a little too loud, especially the very beginning portion, which is, a lot of people's very first introductions. Just starting off way too hard on something that doesn't need to have that sort of introduction. Even if it fits the character, I don't think this is something you should really be going for. It's a little too much to really just start out with. And I don't think something like it would fit throughout the entire song even, but just especially to start off with, it's just, I don't see it. And, like, I've seen a lot of people say that, like, oh, this is, they're trying to go for something more like a chase theme, not like the other songs where it's just like, it's just a banger. And I'll give them a little bit credit. I can kind of see it, But again, this just feels like them going for like a banger chase theme in a different genre. This doesn't feel like, a real chase theme. And I know I've played Dead by Daylight for over 1,000 hours. I'm a super big loser. I know what a chase theme sounds like. But I don't see it with this personally. And I'll go into it a little bit more in a second here. Let me play more of the song. Like here, I think it's a little bit more bearable. It's still loud as fuck, but it's a little bit more bearable. I have this at low volume, and this is still reaching almost the yellow zone. That's how loud this is. Yeah, I think they're going a little too hard with like the drums here. And again, I get it's a new genre. I really do get it. Experimenting, it's something that every like sort of game goes through, especially games that are getting constant updates and shit like this. People want to try new things, see what sticks. I don't think this sticks. I really don't. And like I especially since like the beginning of Noli's lifetime, there's gonna be a lot of people playing him because naturally, new killer comes out, people want to play him. But like for the next like week or so, like probably even longer than a week, this is what everyone is gonna be hearing, and there's nothing they can do about it. Sure, you can adjust your volume, but I think if you have to adjust your volume and like, turn the music way down or whatever, just in case you go against a very specific killer, I think that's a fundamental problem rather than a problem with you yourself. Because from I don't know if Forsaken has a lot of like auditory things. I know in Dead by Daylight, I'm just basing it off of this because that's what I know. I associate it with that. But in Dead by Daylight, audio has like a lot to do with the game. If you're playing, you get blinded in the game, and you get blinded, you hear somebody go to the left, you get to go to the left. And like I assume Forsaken doesn't have any blinding, I'm pretty sure. But like either way, like I assume audio could at least have some sort of aspect to it. And if like you're trying to pay attention to what's going on around you and really like take in everything, then hearing this isn't gonna help much with that. And from what I understand, Noli does have a lot of, aspects to him where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be distracting because like the whole hallucination thing or whatever he has, and it's like, oh, you're supposed to feel all disoriented and stressed. I don't think it's doing that. Whenever I hear this, I don't feel disoriented or stressed or whatever. I just feel mildly annoyed, and I can't really pay attention to what I'm trying to do. That's at least how it goes for me. And I guess like in a way, I guess I think this song is a little bit better than the original version, but I feel like at the same time I'd prefer like the version that came before this one. I don't know why they changed it. It could have been because the musician was like a bad person. I don't know. I'm not keeping up with this shit. But I just generally think this isn't really them going for like, oh, it's an actual chase theme this time. I think this is just them going for like, the chase theme is a banger, but in a different flavor. And for some reason, people think this is like something different when it's really not. And like, no hate to this Vlad guy or whatever girl. I don't know. I didn't look into pronouns before this. Is my bad. But no hate to them. I'm sure they're a really good musician. I just personally don't think this is the direction an asymmetrical horror game should be taking. Especially one so heavily inspired off of a game like Dead by Daylight or Pillar Chase, where it's like, oh, you gotta be paying super close attention to everything and just like, you know? it's just harder to really focus on what you're doing whenever you have something like this being blasted in your ears. That's what I find, at least. Because again, this is subjective. It's not like everything I'm saying is like my opinion is the only one that counts. Bah, 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 bah. I'm just saying, like, as somebody who cares a lot about like this genre of games and just like has put in a lot of time into shit like this, I don't think this is the direction somebody who like really cares about what they're making should be taking for a chase theme. Because like, again, for say, well, not again, but like Forsaken is a really big Roblox game. It's like, from what I know, one of the biggest right now. And just setting a standard for like, doing like doing stuff like this, I don't think it's healthy. I mean, again, maybe people won't give him like as much of a fuck as I'm saying. Maybe I'm kind of over exaggerating the extent of this, but I just personally don't. I think they should put a little bit more care into stuff like this, rather than just like throwing something at the wall, seeing what sticks. They had an entire public test build for Noli. I feel like this is when that's well not this that's whenever they could have put something in there like this chase theme. They could have really tested that out in there, and that would have done wonders. But they didn't for whatever reason. Maybe they just didn't have it made by then. But I feel like something as important as a huge chase theme change like this, I feel like that should definitely be implemented into something like that. Now, I'll just listen to a little bit more of this. You see, cause I like this section. I like despite it still being a bit too loud. I do kind of like the randomness, and then it just kind of goes into this, which I don't really like. But like, you know, like over here, it felt a lot more sporadic and just like random. I mean, I do quite like that. Just like the random like pieces of audio like clipping in like ooh, you know. I do like that. I do like that. I just again, I feel like there's so much that weighs this song down that I can't quite enjoy it. Uh Before I was planning on going into like a whole thing of like, ooh, maybe this is like something how they should do it. But I don't now I don't really know, cuz it's like I feel like they should just, do a little bit more messing around. For first and foremost, I think the whole loudness of it, they should definitely be taken down a notch. And like I don't know how like speedcore is a genre. So I don't know if like removing the super fast drums makes it not speed anymore. You can't go fast without big fast drums. But I feel like, altering that a bit would certainly, help. Anyway, this was 13 minutes long. Jesus Christ. I thought this would be way shorter. But yeah, that's my general thoughts on this. Again, my opinion doesn't have to fully matter. It's just a little thing I wanted to get off my chest. This wasn't the world's most thought out thing here. I just wanted to, talk about it. I like talking about things. So, yeah, if you've listened up to here, thank you for listening. And if you think my opinion is bad, then tell me to go fuck myself. But yeah, big thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day, and happy Forsaken Day, I guess.